It pains me to say that Colorado has gone full woke. Why, you ask? Could it be the 11 to 33,000 people who immigrate here annually from California? Or could it be the fact that we have a gay governor, Jared Polis, who is keeping people like Tina Peters in jail? Or maybe Colorado has gone full woke because we have JBS, which is the world's largest meat producer. Here at the JBS meat plant here in Greeley, Colorado, they employ 3,800 people, and all of them went on strike on these streets, and they are still on strike. This plant in Greeley alone creates 5% of the beef that is consumed in the United States. They recruited people from Somalia, East Africa, and Haiti to come to the United States specifically to run this meat processing plant, and now they are refusing to work. They have just entered their fourth week of striking, saying chants in so many different languages. It is the largest meat packing strike in 40 years in the United States, and nobody is talking about it. Nobody is talking about how farmland is being bought up for data centers, and we might be relying on lab-grown meat. We have a lot to get into in this video. Make sure you're subscribed. We are here at the Cargill Meat Factory in Fort Morgan, Colorado. This is the biggest employer in this very small town of only 12,000 people. About 25% of their workforce is Somali and many Haitians as well. And the reason why I bring this up is because the TPS status for Haitians was supposed to end on February 3rd, but a DC judge blocked it on February 2nd. And so now we're waiting until May or June to see what happens. And for Somali people, their termination was set for March 17th, but on March 16th, a district court in Massachusetts issued a stay, also blocking it. And so that is a large portion of their workforce that is still allowed to stay here. And I'm going to quickly go to this massive housing project that they're doing, investing $40 million in housing to make the lifestyle better. Apparently, the reason why they hire refugees over Americans is because Americans don't like the way that it stinks so bad over here and that the job is not very easy to do. And also, they can pay them a little bit less. But let's hurry. Let's quickly go to that apartment complex that I believe is going to have 81 apartments and 21 townhomes, and it's affordable housing. So they're going to be able to get one bed for $1,095, a two bed for $1,300, a three bed for $1,595. And there's also been a lot of lawsuits here because at one time they left the work line because they wanted to do their 5 times a day prayer. And at the other place in Greeley, some of the American workers were making fun of them for that, and they were throwing bones at them, I guess. And so then it ended up in these massive lawsuits. Each single Somali person was getting tens of thousands of dollars because of discrimination, and now they're able to go to pray. And so it'll be interesting if they do end the TPS status to see how Cargill could automate their services, if they'll use more robotics and stuff. But make sure you guys are subscribed. Let's get on the move. So these are the brand new townhouses that they have built for their workers. And I have to say that they look absolutely lovely. Brand new. I love the coloring. And I think a lot of Americans would appreciate a beautiful townhouse like this as well. Welcome to this massive and brand new apartment complex. It looks like the most modern place to live in all of the town of Fort Morgan. It was created specifically and only for the workers at the Cargill meat processing plant. I can understand Americans' frustration because Colorado is struggling so much with affordable housing, and I have received messages of people saying that they are unsure why the Cargill meat factory had fired them. I believe it's because they are American, and it is easier to bring in people from foreign countries in East Africa, Somalia, and Haiti and give them these beautiful modern apartments and expect them to be happy and satisfied with that. So yeah, I think a lot of Americans would love to live in a beautiful apartment complex like this one. Then I headed to the other massive meat producer in Greeley, Colorado, which is JBS. And because it was a Saturday, there wasn't people who were actively striking outside. However, they are still on a strike.
It's very interesting to see how the union is putting together these protests with the signs and everything, and also how it ties into immigration, because pretty soon it's likely, I guess, that a large portion of their workforce, they say 80 to 90% of JBS's workforce is foreign born. So a lot of them might not have permission to work in the United States anymore if the TPS status actually does end, but I don't know if it's ever going to end. So let's go ahead and check out some footage of what those protests were like.
If you don't get it, shut it down. If you don't get it, shut it down. If you don't get it, shut it down. 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 I know you can hear us. Come strike with us.
Good job. Let's just step out.
I know you can hear us over there. Louder! If you don't get it, shut it down! If you don't get it, shut it down! If you don't get it, shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
You are witnessing people who were recruited into the country specifically to work at this meat processing plant, and now they are outside of the plant refusing to work, screaming, "Shut it down." So why did you bring them in the first place? Now, I'm gonna be stereotypical and just say that they're gonna go on to become small business operators, open up halal meat shops, and change the demographic of Main Street in Greeley completely. Also, a lot of them are here on temporary protected status, but judges keep blocking that. And so why is it even called temporary protected status when it should be more like, oh, here's just a way to come into the country and live here for as long as you want. You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. Just stand out on our streets and protest all day. The ongoing strike happening at JBS in Greeley is absolute insanity. These people aren't even American, and they're demanding more pay, better benefits, more luxuries. It is absolutely wild.
One thing about Haitian is you have to know we are very strong. I mean, after all, we're the first black nation. Whenever we have a chance as Haitians to get together and protest against something, it always comes like automatically. We just start staring it. When we fight, we win. And this is Local 7. Every time we take a fight, we win the fight. So we just have to...
So I have been noticing from more recent posts that are not getting any traction on TikTok, but they are showing people getting arrested by the police. This is becoming a violent uprising happening at this JBS plant in Greeley, Colorado, a very calm and quiet farming town where everybody just wants to be left alone. But they have been completely invaded and are now being taken over, and they're refusing to work. That's the reason why they were brought here.
Strong. JBS cannot work without us. JBS is one of the biggest.
Okay, so he says that JBS cannot work without them, but the truth is they have been sending all their cows to other states. So they're continuing production and it's not hurting them, but these people have just made it so now all of Greeley has a really large immigrant population, and they didn't have that before. They recruited them from Haiti. They were putting TikTok videos on their algorithm. That's why JBS was accused of human trafficking and saying that they were going to have these nice houses and stuff. And when they came, they were all stuffed 10 people in the Rainbow Hotel. And so it's messed up that these companies are making these promises and then people come here demanding a bunch of stuff.
Food producer in the country right now. They don't have just a plant here in Greeley. They have a lot of beef plant in the whole country, and Canada also. They also have poultry and pork plant. I originally came from Haiti, and I came into Greeley starting in the end of 2023 and keep going in 2024. So I was, one of those Haitians who came here looking for a better job. JBS started a way of recruiting people.
So we need to understand that Haiti is a country that does not have a president. For, I believe, around 30 years, they have been ran by gangs. And so this is a person who came here, said that he came here looking for a better job. He was one of the people that was told that he could come to the United States and work here. And now he's demanding more things, saying that Haitians are great at, I guess, overthrowing their government. So this is not a really nice look.
It itself was not a problem. It's the way that it was being done and the abuse that people had to, suffer just to get a job. We're talking about people that all they're asking for, they just need a job to be able to work and to be able to support their family. But actually, once they came to Greeley, what they saw is not really what was promised. We're talking about the company having more than 10 people in a little room and having in a house where you have 40 or 50 people living.
Yes, I mean, it was messed up that JBS was stuffing people in rooms like this, and that they told them that they could come here and that they were going to be taken care of. And now they're complaining about the fact that they're getting paid $29 the hour.
We can qualify as human trafficking, and the fact that people had to pay just to get a job. You have the Burmese, the Spanish speakers, the Haitian. You have people from all over the world. And if you go in front of the plant right now, you can see everybody have one chant. Everybody saying one thing. So you can see that they're united, and we kind of see everybody as a big family. We have to talk about the fact that
I'm sorry, but this is just an absolute mess. This is seriously an absolute mess. The fact that Colorado is forcing counselors to affirm children's gender and they are making parents do the same, or else they could lose custody of their children. And there are actually cases of this happening. This is the reason why more people are leaving Colorado than coming into it. People are mass migrating to Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Oregon, and Idaho. Is it a coincidence that all of those states are red states? Could it be that Democrat policies actually do ruin cities and ruin the quality of life, ruin the mental health? Look at Portland, Oregon. This is terrifying that people are actually losing custody of their kids for not affirming their gender. A Colorado court awarded emergency guardianship of the teenager to the queer they/she girlfriend of local LGBTQ organization's executive director. So get this, the mom in the story said her daughter had participated in a school art club, which turned out to be a GSA type club prior to leaving her home to live with the girlfriend. So that is what they're doing in our schools. This is the reason why more and more Coloradans are choosing homeschool instead. If you think that the whole woke thing has gone way too far, then this shirt is perfect for you. It was created to have the angel wings and the rose, so Angela Rose, and it is a recreation of the Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt. I personally love wearing it out there, and it's a one way of sharing what your beliefs are. So get yourself some of this merch on with the video. Speaking of homeschooling in Colorado.
Colorado just reported that they are down 10,000 students because they are going to homeschooling. As a former teacher here, I find that quite interesting. And I think it needs to take some self-reflection to figure out why. Why are so many people going to homeschooling?
Well, for starters, public schools have become nothing more than political indoctrination camps. They push critical race theory, gender ideology. Everything's framed as oppressed versus oppressors, which is Marxist. They push the climate agenda, the feminist agenda, the collectivist agenda.
They are using unions, universities, schools. They're trying to get everybody so upset to go on to a bloody revolution against our government. Just so much corruption, like the fact that the number of kids in Colorado's public schools has decreased 5%, yet during the same time, the Colorado Department of Education's budget increased nearly $2 billion. Colorado is taking notes from California. And we can see the effects of the lack of education as young people turn into Antifa and tried to take over Colorado's major highway, I-25. Democrat policies are also the reason why this guy, after doing what I'm sure you can guess what he did, was released. And guess what? He's going back to jail again. So why did they release him in the first place? So that he can continue doing these horrendous things. This is all too common in Colorado. It is happening in neighborhoods everywhere, that these people who have been convicted are living right next to schools. It's horrible. Under current Colorado laws, a person convicted of SA, person under 18, can be sentenced to probation instead of prison. They go out and they do it again and again and again. Did you guys see that viral Nick Shirley video of that guy saying that he'll vote for Gavin Newsom because he's the reason he's out of jail? That is a perfect representation of what the Democrat Party is. In Colorado, it sounds like they're forcing lawyers to not cooperate with ICE in any way, that they certify under penalty of perjury that I will not disclose personal identifying information obtained from this database for the purpose of investigating for participating in, cooperating with, or assisting in federal immigration enforcement. Riley Gaines pointed out that there are 61 males competing in girls' teams in one single county in Colorado. I remember growing up in middle school and playing against a volleyball team that had a boy in it, and it gave them a super unfair advantage. Some people point out that Colorado skies always look like this, and that I can confirm. Apparently, not one single Democrat in Colorado believes that women have XX chromosomes. Trump has demanded that Tina Peters be released from a Colorado prison, and Jared Polis is making it so she has to stay there, and she's been there for a long time. In my understanding, in Colorado and other states, they're so obsessed with the life of wolves and will not allow farmers to kill them, even though they're killing off their cows. This darling farm that has been around for over 95 years and provides Coloradans with fresh and healthy produce just lost an eminent domain case, and they were awarded with $250,000. By the way, eminent domain is the power of the government to take private property for public use. That amount of money doesn't even cover the legal fees that this farm has to go through. This is concerning because farming is Colorado's second largest economic driver, and yet 100 farms have gone away in just 1 year, and they say that farmland acres fell from 29.3 million acres in 2024 to 29.2 million acres in 2025. So that is a loss of 100,000 acres of farmland in just a single year. So the Parkland Metropolitan District is forcing them to run a drainage pipeline directly through the middle of their farm, which is going to ruin their soil and make it basically impossible to run. They might have to completely shut down because of this, also that they can build this brand new and massive housing development that nobody wants, because it brings people like this next lady to our towns. So amazing, very homey country people are being driven out and being replaced with people like this.
And the idea that I have to get up here and say that trans women are women and that's what I have to use my time to do is absurd. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And shame on you for using lesbian politics as a front for your transphobia, because this lesbian has had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
So just a comment.
Okay, so that's not just any random lady, by the way. That is a professor at the Colorado State University. This is the woman who is educating young adults. How is she allowed to do so? If your girlfriend has that, then it's a dude and you're straight. You're not actually a lesbian. I hate to be the one to break this to you. It's one thing when we see the insanity happening in Minnesota and California, but it's another thing when it's happening right next door. And that's the reason why we need to continue to stay strong in our beliefs and at the very least share them and have these important conversations. Make sure you're subscribed to continue doing this, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.